Hello. Hello, hello. Pleased to meet you. Hi, hi. Do you see me well? Yeah, I think you do. So we've, in a way, we've known ourselves for some years. When did we meet? At 2010, I think. So I've always said you're welcome to be, in our website and post your posts and interact with us. And I've always appreciated it. So I admire some of your qualities. You have some amazing steadfastness and patience and many beautiful and great qualities. Oh, yeah. What's your name, please? Ivan. Hi, Richard, of course. Sometimes I don't always feel like I understand Marcus, or that maybe he doesn't understand me, or I don't feel understood. So maybe bringing each of us to each other is a process of allowing the other person to feel understood, even though if we agree or disagree. Well, I mean, things I say, but are never seem to be acknowledged. There's always another way to look at it. Well, I don't know. I mean, all of them, right? I think it's about 100%. Yeah. Well, like, okay, like for example, like something about life is mysterious, right? Everything about life is mysterious, really, if you want to go there with your attention. And then, in order to operate in that mystery, we make up ideas. So then those two parts are together, right? Like there's the mysterious everything, and ideas are also everything. Because what don't you have an idea about? Only those things that never appeared, right? So then both of those things are everything that we have in our life. Hypothetically, this one's bigger because we can admit we don't know a lot of stuff, right? So whatever is true, the mystery, is going to be bigger than this one, which is like our description of it. Yeah, never. But yet we operate our whole lives on it. Well, the whole world does. So I might not believe in cause and effect, but I know if I want to go to the grocery store, I have to go down these stairs, right? I know. That's what I call interface. One-time posts. I called interface. Like we know if we want to turn left in the car, we grab this wheel and go like this. I mean, like this for left, this for right. Right? We don't know how it's all hooked up, but we just know go like this and you go left, right? And we don't know so many things about a car. We don't know so many things about our body, like how does our arms even go like this? But yet, if I want to turn left and at the corner, not in somebody's driveway or not into the tree, I turn at the street. And then I think, oh, I'm going to turn at the street, and I do it. And it's like, so far, 100%, right? Because I haven't hit the tree yet. So what do you think of that? You know, that's interface, means I don't need to know that stuff. Do I talk too fast, Yvonne? Oh, yeah, okay. Car. As a, and there's no political system, and there's no war, and there's no farms, and no growing of corn, and yeah, in life, there's none of that stuff. Okay. So my question is, since life is doing that 100% of the time, why do you have to say it? Why do you have to mention it? Because since there's no choice in it, then there's no reason really to put that in your projector, and you can just go, your intention on what's for dinner, and when you get to the supermarket, what are you going to buy? That would be good enough, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Two things, because like one is like, okay, I'm happy every day of my life and every moment of my life. Number two, I'm especially happy because I don't have any need to be happy. Nobody tells me, hey, you better be happy every moment or you're missing out. Because then my whole happiness allows unhappiness, right? It allows anything that's here because, like, here is where I want to be, right? So then I don't have any necessities on that. Like, oh, I ought to be happy. Otherwise, I got to think about something about that's not here, that doesn't show up in my thought structure, but is kind of like an ultimate principle. I'm just wondering if that ultimate principle is diluting your effectiveness. Dilute, like, put too much water in it. Put too much water in the whiskey. It's too thin now, because your attention is like on the idea that, oh yeah, I'm witnessing and nothing's happening here. I'm not a doer. And your intention is there. But wouldn't it be better if your attention was just like on Yvonne and the kids and which one wants milk? The only small separation I guess I worry about is that that doesn't seem to allow a space for where that doesn't happen, where the witnesser is hiccuping and blowing his nose, where the witnesser blows his nose or something like that. He's got a handkerchief over his eyes. He's not witnessing very good. It would be nice if that witnessing allowed that too, where the witnessing didn't happen, because it would be less pressure. It would be less pressure, wouldn't it? Not even, right? The witnesser doesn't even think about illusions or thoughts, or just sees it. That's it. So simple. No thoughts, no judgments, no parameters to choose, no better, no mediocre, no worse. It's just there. It's like deaf, dumb, blind, inert. It has none of those judgmental weights or measures. It's just, you know, nothing. It'll ride any kind of a truck. You can get it on a garbage truck, it'll be happy. You can put it in a limousine, it'll be happy. You can put it in a death tank that's shooting bullets at the innocent people, and consciousness, the witnesser will be happy because he has no judgments, no capacity to judge, because the capacity to judge is a story. Only, only, yeah, only. Well, you say it's not a reality, but anyhow, I live in unreality. And unreality is kind of like an important part of my life. And so then I don't want to get caught with my thoughts of discounting it. Like I might think, oh, it's only what? But no, unreality is a big chunk. It's like the two parts. The little part is the descriptor. The big part, we don't know how big it is like the essence. And I live so much over here, like I want to give a lot of my attention to it, and then just trust that this part's doing its thing anyhow. So doesn't need me, doesn't need my thoughts, right? So it doesn't need my attention really, or does it? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but is there really an ego? There's no ego either, right? That's just another senseless word. Huh. Oh yeah, well, sound is the way I do language, right? And then without the sound, and even yeah, by sounds and words. Does it help to give it attention, or to take your attention away from it? Oh, really? So attention can just wander, right? I mean, whatever attention does, it's already doing. You're saying. uh, oh, really? Do you know some of those people that do teaching? I don't know. I've got this thing on my website. It's what the heck is it called? It's this German Jets TV. Do you know some of those people on Jets? The one guy I met there that I traveled with once, his name was Florian Schlosser, but he moved out of Germany. He's in Mallorca now. Do you know him? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I was once and I'll tell this story. I was once in California. And I was following Florian Schlosser and doing videos, right? And he went one meeting, another meeting, another meeting, and I was doing all these videos. And so then we had a meeting at Stanford University, and invited by the Indian Club, or India. The Indian people study spirituality, right? So they invited Schlosser to come and talk to him. And there was one professor there. He was in his mid-70s, and he was very active of asking questions and so on and so on, and very distinguished looking, and had very good expression, right? And his wife was there, and she was perfect. She really looked so great. Well, mid-70s, professor's wife. She probably had a position at one time in Stanford, is a big university, right? So Florian, this guy was very contrary, and he was seeing his own way because he was a professor and he had his own ideas. So then Florian asked the wife something, right? And the wife said, "Well, it's not always the way he says it is." And my God, he said, "Oh, what do you mean?" It was so touching that this guy and his wife had never really confronted each other and saying, "I don't agree with what you say." The wife didn't. But now they're 75 or something, and it's coming out that, oh my God, this we don't agree at all on these things. So then I said, "Hey, let me talk to Yvonne and see what really is going on over there." It does sound that way, though. It sounds like you're saying that you should witness. It would be better if you would witness, and you would be the witness, and the witness would see that it sounds like you're saying the witness. It would be better if the witness would see that this part of life is not real. Or that's the way many people might interpret it, myself, and I would say at least a few others, you know. Mm. Yeah, I think, I don't know, for me, I think everybody knows that mind is illusory. Well, good. You'll have it when you have it, right? That kind of thing. Yeah, right. Anyhow, reading your posts is not all that relaxing. It sounds like you're pulling us towards something, you know. And then another principle, and the idea is when you're pulling toward a principle, sounds like I should discard the other principle. Like, okay, up to my point, I know mind is illusory, and then I don't, and I also keep in that category a description that says you don't have to stand in that witnessing all the time, because when it happens, it does happen, just like you said, and when it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And so then it's better to be permissive about that instead of saying, oh, I screwed up, now I feel bad. And so then I just feel, I think it's what my description is, more of a trust. It's trusting that when it comes, it will come, and then that'll be right for me. And then for me to put on another principle, that it could be another way, even when you're saying now that you're not saying it could be another way, it's just perfect the way it is. Well, we're talking about the mind now, but the mind is bigger. It's a bigger container that holds all our emotions and our moods too, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's totally verbal. It's totally the sound, right? It's a verbal charge, is what I call it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sometimes I reach out to Marcus. I feel like he doesn't touch. He's hard to touch, you know. He's hard to grab a hold of and get him. I don't know. Can you live that way? Or you must have a way to grab him, right? You have all of them, huh? Sometimes his steadfastness seems ungrabbable, right? That's how I receive it sometimes, because he's so, I call it, maybe steadfast is the best word, but, you know, like, let me think of another one, but uh, single pointed, you know, unshakable. Yeah. And so then you say, wait, what about me? And he's not going to shake, right? If you have a wobble, let's say you have a wobble, you know, and you say, that's just a wobble. Oh, thanks. I knew it. Inside, I knew it was a wobble, but it feels like hell. Oh, it just means like not steadfast, like a little bit off balance. Some things that most of the times, like you're very good at balance and walking, and then you kind of lose balance, and your emotions kind of go whoa, whoa, and you say, now you know that that's just an illusion. Oh God. Because when you say illusion, it's kind of like a discounting word. And it doesn't always feel good to be reminded that you can discount things that have a ticklish feeling, right? Maybe he doesn't mean discount, but it can be interpreted as a discounting word. No, huh? Hey, that's good. That's good. He's always got a good space for that talking, right? Oh, that's great. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of like seems like a problem between men and women sometimes, and I see it in my own life. That it's hard sometimes for a man to make that space that allows whatever's here to be here, because it's like, oh, well, it's just a hiccup. It's just it's not it's an illusion. If we say it's an illusion, okay, and then we think, oh, huh. But it does touch somebody's heart, that illusion. Yeah. So then people want to be received, carrying that burden, even if it's false. Oft, oft times they want to be received. Hmm. I find great difficulty within myself, let's say, if I share how things happen with me. Because let's say that I define certain illusions as that I've already penetrated certain illusions. Let's say I define that for myself. And let's say that I'm relating to someone that has not penetrated those, or somehow they know they're illusions, but still they hit the heart, or whatever happens, right? There's all the different layers or levels of it. And somehow it seems to come off like I can accept that and I can receive it. But somewhere way, way in the back of my mind, I guess I'm trying to fix it. Or trying to, or holding it that later there'll be an evolution and then that won't be a problem. or I'm trying to say that within myself. Let me think of how to say it. That there's something I can add by saying something to make it go away, right? To make it go away and to realize, okay, most problems are built on a context of a false assumption, right? Some kind of a false assumption, like even like this toy. I need this toy. I need it, and it broke. And that may be a false assumption. You didn't need it. You needed it for when you had it, and now you don't need it anymore, right? But anyhow, that false assumption creates some kind of a feeling. It creates a feeling, actually. It does create a feeling. And then I hold it within me that maybe there's a more correct assumption, or maybe just no assumption. And then sometimes people get fed up with me because I'm thinking like, that'll go away when you get better, right? Said grossly, right? And I try to, maybe I try not even to say it. But anyhow, is that I don't know, that's such a temptation structure, and kind of a difficulty to not be, in some sense, superior. It's very, very difficult. Very, very delicate. Yeah, but remember, like you said, everything will happen on its own accord, including your input and the things you say in that situation. So when those things will sound like you're giving advice, or you're trying to soften the situation, or you're ameliorating hurt, or you're somehow soothing, and it'll sound, it's your input is all a part of that. It's not that you're going to stand back and say, I give no input. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think of a word, that would be right for this situation, because I am thinking of the word, like some words are really, have a lot. Well, of course, every word has a connotation and a denotation. Like it really supposed to mean something, but it has a feeling to it too, because it's always used in certain contexts, right? So illusion means that something is not the way it appears. But illusion in the connotation is kind of means like discard it. It's only an illusion, right? It gives it a kind of like a bit of a negative, or like you must be lost if you're fooling around with that, an illusion, Whereas illusion might, So then the connotations of illusion are it's kind of attached to something that you could call dismissal. Dismissal is uncomfortable for many people, especially if they feel it's focused toward them. And it's not very good for yourself either, to dismiss things about yourself. But you're not saying dismissal, you're saying illusion. And illusion, I'm saying, has a little bit of taste of dismiss, or some other things too. I'm only thinking of a couple of words, and I haven't thought of a whole, because every word has lots of tastes. It doesn't have just one taste. And then I'm thinking, okay, another word that says things are not what they appear would be a more powerful way to say illusion. Because it doesn't really mean that there's any dismissal involved, that it would be better, I'm not saying it would be better, but it somehow is maybe received that way, And then I'm suggesting, or wondering, to be really cognizant of how words are received and all their nuances. Oh, there she is. Hello, hello. I am Richard. Oh, fantastic. Everybody's smiling. It must be working, huh? Whatever you guys do is good, huh? No, I'm sure, yeah. Yeah. That's the next year. I'll be speaking German next year. Parlo italiano. Vuoi capire italiano? I only live in Europe 10 years. I live in Italy. Those are my good ones. So that's another word that means things are not what they appear. It doesn't say illusion, or doesn't have a taste of, hey, let's drop it, because why mess with illusions? It must be a more powerful word. Okay, when we're talking about, like, mind is not really what life is all about, But we did say that mind is thoughts, and mind is meanings, and mind is feelings, and mind is moods. Yes. So that word, which is mind, illusion, and if it feels like a dismissal, that's going to give a feeling. So words do give feelings, and feelings are, the basis of feelings is a contraction. And that contraction actually is a kind of a closure. It's a closure of your body and a closure of your mind. And so then, if you want to be most effective, then you would talk to people in a way that didn't throw closures at them, even though you're saying I didn't do it, it happened. What did you say now? Something happens with words. What happens with words? Maturity? Oh, mystery. Mystery. Yeah, somehow I'm very aware of what you're just saying now. I'm very aware that one man tells me something and it doesn't change anything. That's not the mechanism. Somehow I'm totally aware of that. But I don't put another descriptor on there to say we're all oneness, so it must work somehow over there. I just leave it in the mystery and leave it with no descriptor. Or if I make up a descriptor about how learning happens, I say somehow by being here now and taking a look. It's only by me looking that anything can really change. And I think, oh, hey, look at that. That's not true. Or, oh, look at that. I made that up years ago. How could that be relevant now? But only by being here, which means like not being in my mind about a principle, not saying oneness, not saying, duality or non-duality. Those principles kind of like fracture my attention. Some of it's on a thought duality, and the other little part is on this. I like to say that life, really what life is, all there is to life, is a little handful of minutes. These minutes right here now that are rolling, coming out of my fingers and flowing, right? The life is no more than just a handful of minutes and never will be and never was. And so then if I can put my attention on those minutes, like what's happening right now, I must be able, I don't know, maybe a theory that I could get more out of it if I would put my attention on it than if I just start thinking about some principles of like how do I learn or how didn't I learn or the fact that there's oneness or that life is really non-duality because there's no other. I don't think those thoughts really very much. Okay. Again, I just like, okay, that's life is just sound, and of course there's no minutes. There's just now. you know, but a handful of minutes is pretty good because that ropes you in pretty tight, you know, instead of going off last year or next year. It's pretty good. Yeah. I get it. No, I said that there's a mystery. And then we describe it, which is language, right? And language goes all over and creates time and past and future and all that stuff. And I said, okay, I live here and I live here. In fact, I've never seen it where these two weren't together. And so then I think I should give some of my attention to the thoughts and the time because it's always here. Just keep it kind of close, right? And so then how could I ever have a life without thoughts? And what would it look like? Just in essence. I don't agree that there is a life like that. And so then attention will be there too, because you said attention is just another thought, right? And nobody denies that. Yeah. So then that's where I put my attention. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, I won't hold you guys too long. I appreciate this whole meeting and everything. I appreciate knowing you, and I appreciate very much seeing your two children and yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. I don't know. I'll ask Yvonne. I'll ask Yvonne. I mean, I don't know. Do you feel you share this understanding, or do you feel that just as good to, okay, attention is just a thought, and the thought is attention. So then give it some energy. Give it, you know, give it what it asks for because it's there and it's asking and you're giving it and it's happening the way it's happening. And then there's really no fight with that. What does it give you, this understanding, Yvonne, that it's really only the witnesser, and the witnesser is timeless and just sees millisecond per millisecond? Marcus is a wonderful, powerful. He's like a rock, and he's so there for everybody that you can so always count on that rock. It's like the center of the earth, right? Yeah. And then if others or the children or the relatives feel uh, off balance, there's always that rock to know that even if you don't feel like you are that rock, you can feel that it's possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can reach, and maybe you can even touch and feel the stability there, right? Either really or figuratively, right? I don't know. The one thing that I heard you say that I would say, okay, like you said, well, I'm not there yet.
Sorry.
When you said, I'm not quite there, I understand him, but I don't feel that you said the word yet, you know?
Yeah.
I would say that would be a good word to throw out, you know, forget about yet.
I don't know if we have not the one to now. I
Perfect. That's one. Totally wonderful. Totally wonderful. Uh, that's kind of like where I come from, you know, because I don't want anyone to say yet or like take it on whole, or that there'll be a place to get to or another time when understanding will be more whole. Because I think if I take that away from people, then what's left? They're just here. And in this place right here, they're bound to see more and have more understanding, and whatever that would be. And so then I like to take away principles. What I feel that are principles that people might be trying to adopt, you know, and they're not even shared as principles; they're just shared as an understanding. And but they're received sometimes. It's their fault, you know. People interpret the way they interpret, just by all their old baggage. You know, we were always told in school to compare and get better, right? And so then that's how we do life. Mostly, at least in the West. I don't know about. I'm living in Thailand now, so although I've never gone to the Thai schools or anything, or know exactly what their real interiors are. You know, I see them outside and they look happy, and they seem to have not much body language that looks like baggage. And so then I don't know about all the different cultures. All I know. I lived in Europe for 11 years or more. And that was a beautiful experience. And so then, other than that, I guess I've been in several places in the U.S., in the more kind of cosmopolitan places, and then in a more nature place, get the multi-point of view. So anyhow, I feel very stable myself, you know, because I don't have a lot of temptation to take my attention, which is just a thought. Okay, you're saying, but I don't have very much temptation to go very far with it into other people's descriptions. So that I don't follow very many teachers, even though I talk to so many of them. I don't really listen much anymore because I just feel like whatever's here could explain itself to the and I don't really need to come up with some other farther away explanation of it. And that's kind of like how my stability is a little different. That's good, yeah. I've noticed so much in my life in this last year that what I say to myself is my feeling. I've noticed so much how tight those two together. We call it mind. Mind is feelings. Mind is thoughts. Mind is descriptions. But I realize how really tight two sides of the same coin. How my feeling kind of what do you want? Is really just a thought, and vice versa. I'm not even trying to say one causes the other causes the one, but definitely they're correlated so that they go in both directions, or they both just arise as a unity, as a singular flow. But I've kind of noticed if I look at my what I say to myself, my feelings will change. My feelings, my moods, in an instant, And so then I count that as some kind of a skill set, actually. Some benefit of just not roving too far with that part of my mind, which is my attention, and not being tempted. I almost call, nowadays I call all pain, revisiting pain or revisiting suffering as kind of like a temptation structure. And I don't have that temptation anymore. Yeah. I agree. I'm trying to think of an example, and I'm not coming up with one, but anyhow. Somehow what seems to me is like I explain to myself how the world works in some small area. Might be my job, might be an education for the kids, might be in city living. It might be, I explain something about myself. I'm not very good at computers, for instance. Some people says that, right? And then they spend a lot of time proving it by screwing up their computer, right? Jamming it up or something, or having to reboot. But another descriptor that's a little bit more generous and a little bit more wide, even just saying I'm just learning about computers and I've got a big curiosity about it because I haven't really got it all down. So that curiosity is helping me learn more. And then that's a whole different thing than just saying, well, I'm not a technical person, right? I can't. That's a whole broader, softer description. And it changes behavior and it changes feeling around that computer. When it jams up, you say, oh, let me check it out, I can Google that. Yeah. So then the guidance I would say that would be possible is for someone to suggest, make a broader description that's softer. You know, the way you usually tell your story, all the ones that seem limited, like I can't do anything else, I'm stuck in this path because. And then making up a broader descriptor, I've come up with a term, I use such a simple term, being friendly to yourself. Tell another story around that occurrence that's more friendly to yourself. And that has changed so much for me and the people that I know. Yeah. A nicer one. A little bit nicer, right? And it's still an illusion, but somehow it comes with an open feeling. And that open feeling is like an open body too, because and energy flows better because the body's open and the mind is kind of broader and you're a little bit less stressed. And so then when opportunities show up in life, you're willing to say, oh yeah, there, I could do that. Whereas before you say, oh no, my plate's too full today, I can't do it, you know, because your story said, neediness, urgency, Now, I'm not so sure what you're meaning because many times when we say story, we're talking about like how I sum up yesterday. And, you know, I got this career and I've got this degree and I've got this job. But I'm not saying that story. I'm saying a story around what's happening right now. It's like my descriptors. You understand me? Yeah. Yeah. Of course, I know it's a fiction, but another story is that every day I'll modify that story. So I'll have whatever comes to me, I'll say, oh, it could be even better because look what this guy said to me. Oh, shit. God, that's a bad one. I just knocked the water onto my computer keyboard. How about that? That's a story. I got a towel right close. Maybe I can wipe it. So that's another story that says I can recreate a story every moment, right? In fact, I am the story master. I am the story master. And that, in a way, manufactures all my feelings, right? And what's the point? The point is that my feeling would be open. Yeah. So then that openness, like, okay, I just feel like that openness is like less anxious and it's less taxing on my body because a story that closes me blocks my energy and is actually affecting my health. Kind of holding this up so that nothing's soaking in there, but I think I'm making it. was interesting. Time and for connection. Beautiful. And lots of love to you both and to your family and to everybody over at the Holland establishment there. Thanks for allowing me to come in your house. Invitation. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Much love to you, Marcus. Much love to you, Don. Thank you. Thank you much. Thank you. But okay, I'll say one more thing. Like it's dynamic. What is right here, right now? It's not static. So, so that dynamic is also my way of thinking I'm changing it or whatever is happening. Am I putting my fingers in the pie, adding more sugar to the cake, or whatever I'm doing? Right, is all the dynamic isness of what's flowing. And my thoughts about how I can interject more of myself in it is also part of it. Right, it's all dynamic. Moment to moment. What does he say? The singular flow. Yeah. Right. Only an illusion can be. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. That's great. That's great to say it. Because then nobody has to say, "Oh, I should be somewhere else," and later I'll get there. Just just immerse yourself in this illusion, and find your happiness in it too. Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. Okay. Have a wonderful morning and afternoon. Thank you. Okay. Bye for now. Bye, Ron.